Today, Rinpoche stressed the point that valid establishment does not contradict the lack of intrinsic existence. Emptiness does not contradict conventional reality. Om Tare Tu Re Guru Namaya Khensur Geshe Wanda Gai Punina Pun Guru Soha.
Dalai also Jibu Chungu Lang, Jibu Dinga Lang, Jibu Shibi Lang, Jibu Chungu Lang, Tatana Chandru Dam, Magajumu Tsuji, Dinga Lang, Dal Habasun, Jibu Shibi Lang, Shajuga Santa Shidu, or to Sulat and the Sanjaya or the neighbor.
So, once again, welcome to the Chenrezig Tibetan Buddhist Center. We are studying Lama Tsongkhapa's great treatise on the stage of the path to enlightenment. And in it we find all of Lord Buddha's teachings summarized into three categories. These three categories are called the teachings for beings of three capacities. The first category of teachings of the three is for teachings for being teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity, and these teachings lead to the higher realms, the gods and humans and so forth. By practicing going for refuge to the three jewels of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and engaging in ethics which abandons the 10 non-virtuous activities, one is able to achieve higher realm rebirth. The next set of teachings are the teachings for shared in common with beings of medium capacity. These are for beings who wish to achieve nirvana or an individual nirvana. This practitioner engages in the three highest higher trainings. Highest higher training in ethics, concentration in wisdom, and in dependence upon these trainings, he or she is able to achieve higher, complete nirvana, their own individual liberation. And the last set of teachings are teachings for beings of great capacity, and these are for practitioners who wish to achieve complete Buddhahood. So this practitioner engages in the already mentioned practices and couples them with the generation of the mind that aspires to enlightenment, and then a practice of the 6 perfections. So this is how we categorize the Lord Buddha's teachings and summarize them by way of 3. Diksun.
Nijabende bale kede nambara jebande jawa nabatanje to kabale duji jawa meba temba dona titse jumatabu nyedo mujuje meshaji bala suba tagi nyawa jawa jowa shina Tenzin Dewan Juan Meba Tai Tawanju Jibe Tedatan Dunbara Majiji Tedan Magewa Jumala Suba Tadan Shedo She Sawa Sonso Nabara Jubande Shebane Tekonanila Jubi Ribao Jiwa Naba Taji to Kaba Shebane Gazala Cheba Majayu Jiwa Yinse Taji Kajibao Mashaji Bosu Tuane Jiwa Taji Kana Mashaji Botan Rabunga Tala Suba Jindo Tuen Sheba Taji Chi Tombi Ngweme Jola Tatana Tenzin Deba Tendi Mebi Jodo Ju Sherin Jibe Tuen Shebi Neba Taji Tan Chayi Mashanji Bala Suba Jiwa Meba Tan Mandayi Jumala Suba Tan Rayi Denba on Rajinji Jiwa Gochiba Wu Jijabende Bale Kede Mila Suba Mila Suba na Messina T-shirt Chedara Mila Suba Ombunda na le leji nabar miba Ngo nabar ja jina Koja gine Dana chi nabar miba Ngo ni kaka Kede Mila Suba na guba Drube Tichita maka jina Koja gine nabar jubande Rajin ji tsuwa Lo sheba Ni yinbi shiro Koja ne Del ngabu na rajin nguyu Soba gogi Mila soba Shejin tenjin taban yu Leji name Naba meba ni mongogo Tishir te yuebe
Gashi
nabe meba nido tenba heba mela soba yueba nido shi rebe ndazanshi gola ndazanshi mongo che shindo sombe ndadara sheba ndadara jeba ne高速送呢，高技术送呢，马上把他这郎，然有今年讲下过说，在那个我准备我在话，有点那个我有吧，这边过了，有把上蒙古这边呢，这边那了，那个Rajin Tsua Losheba Sombe Ribane Rajin Yume Tsua Yimbe Te Kaba Rajin Kajiba Tuen Yimbe Deni Sheba Shawos Tenda Yu Lende Na Mongoba maze oma be te ke langoba sonde lonte chuni ne t-shirt kebe jine bitala chekishi bit naba jeba te kona ni tonga da jesu tunbe machuba le na je naba meba san je mechaba nido ke lang de truba nyon yu trudo jine ba san ji jang ke lang shao she so te da na rangi denpa ngon denpa ni je naba jaba sheba de shebi tuen tenla pobe rebi kundu bi nabar yabala nuna ne deba nis naban jubi naja la nange shungwa yinbe deba ni rebi nguwa la pyudo shungyu keba kebe jitarung naja andini la nange chungze jang mena ne tuntang tenla bebe rebi kunzu bi naba jaba sunjiba gewa yino tsise le jang chwe ne tuntang batang kunzu bi denpa makebe lara teba chune reba mayimba le te nabaran jeba sheba yino ko jane ko ne kunzu ji denpa Nama Jubala, Kebe, Shir, Jinebi, Shunila, Nete, Kundu Shujiba, Kundu Shuji Sambe, Sambe Shir, Kubi, Beba, Beba Jen, Beba, Jenji, Goba Jin, Jinebi, Gero Tala, Jinebi, Chulule, Nyaba Chukona, Loba Shiba Hinje, Kundu ne, Mahino She, Kundu Vale, Nyabi, Tuta Mama, Goki, Kundu Mungu Shiba, She Song Shin, Tenila Chubi Rebe, Naba Chuba, Na Kundu Ba, Jimbale, Deni Juba la, Bekebe, Sombe, Kundubi, Zosu, Rebe Gona, Lumandi, Umbat Neba Hino, Dona, Omaba Tanji, Rajin, Otaba the college.
Chun Kabar lesson, Ramche. 6:12. Okay. Tuche. Okay. Sikse Tsar. Sikse Long Tsar. Okay. All right.
Kundu Kundu Sana Kundu Demba.
Lesso.
Zula Suba Kundu Demba. Sana Tony Hora.
Lesso.
Tony Goden. What they could see.
So when we speak of conventional, it's referring to conventional truth. And when we speak of ultimate, it's referring to the ultimate truth. Ultimate truth refers to emptiness, refers to the cessations. And then conventional truth refers to form and such that we interact with. Beginning on page 159, where the 400 stanzas is introduced, 3/4 of the way or 2/3 of the way down the page. The Master Chandrakirti also clearly states that rational analysis of reality does not refute all forms of production. His commentary on 400 stanzas says, incorrect position. Aryadeva means that compounded phenomena lack production because this analysis refutes all forms of production. Reply. In that case, the production of compounded phenomena would not be like a magician's illusion. Rather, we would make it understood using examples such as the son of a barren woman. Wary of the absurd implication that dependent arisings would not exist, we avoid such comparisons. Instead, we compare the production of things to a magician's illusion and so forth, examples that do not contradict dependent arising. The phrase "this analysis" refers to rational analysis of reality. Refutes all forms of production means refuting all productions of any kind, without adding any qualification to be the object to be negated. The passage referring to the barren woman should be understood as follows. If reason refuted all production, then Production, like the son of a barren woman, the horns of a hare and such, would be a non-thing, empty of all function. In that case, there would be the fallacy that dependent arisings would not exist. We are wary of that. Hence, we do not say that it is like the non-production of something devoid of the capacity to perform functions, such as the son of a barren woman. We say that production is like a magician's illusion and so forth. Therefore, we refute truly existent or intrinsically existent production. Also, Chandrakirti's commentary on the 400 stanzas says, objection. If eyes and such do not exist, then how can the sensory faculties of organs, such as the eye, be considered things that result from karma? Reply. Would we refute that it is the nature of these to result from karma? Objection. Since you are demonstrating the refutation of eyes and such, how could you not refute that? Reply. Because our analysis is intent upon seeking intrinsic nature. We refute here that things exist essentially. We do not refute that eyes and such are products and are dependently arisen results of karma. Therefore they exist. Hence, when eyes and such are explained only as results of karma, they do exist. Hence, Chandrakirti very clearly states exactly what reason does and does not refute. Therefore, once he makes these distinctions in one passage, they must be applied, even when they are not stated in all similar passages throughout the text. Therefore, reason refutes essential existence. Objective existence found on the side of the thing itself does not refute mere existence. Since he says that reason is intent on seeking intrinsic nature, reason seeks to discover whether something intrinsically exists. Therefore, this means that a refutation by such analysis is a refutation of intrinsic existence. Hence, distinguish these two. Chandrakirti does not refute that such instances are results of karma. Moreover, he says that Madhyamaka must assert this. The continuation of that passage says, therefore the learned do not subject worldly objects to the analysis just explained, i.e. the analysis congruent with the perception of reality. Instead, they accept that worldly objects are simply the inconceivable results of karma. They accept the whole thing as though it were an emanation projected by another emanation. So when you present the two truths, does the line of reasoning that establish the ultimate contradict the presentation of the conventional? If it does, then your presentation of the two truths contradicts itself. In that case, how can you have perfected the skill of positing the two truths? If, on the other hand, there is no trace of internal contradiction in your presence of the two truths, then it is a contradiction to claim that the line of reasoning that establishes the ultimate refutes the presentation of conventionalities. Chandrakirti's clear words also says, unskilled in the ultimate and conventional truths, you sometimes apply analytical standards inappropriately and destroy the conventional. Because we are skilled in positing conventional truths, we stay with the world's position. We use its conventional standards to overturn the standards that you set so as to eliminate the category of conventionalities. Like the elders of the world, we drive out only you who deviate from the traditional standards of the world. We do not drive out conventionalities. Dixon.
Do na oma o maze rande deba ni je na bara jaba shebe phayu je toda ma na je lola kanza yin je kui deba deni je na ja lang gendo deba yu men chang kurangi na ja shebe deba ni la tuantambi suji ribi kundubi tuantam sunjimba deba ne jijang yueba mayino shi kuja mao
Rinpoche, the dead school, gang isneng leu sarpa, the nge injike lo, the ngatsu leu sarpa gutso. The nipa tseme, the injike leu sarpa.
Yeah.
Okay, dead school. Thus he says that he refutes only proponents of tenets that deviate from conventionalities. He does not refute conventionalities. He also says that it is those who are unskilled in positing the two truths who destroy conventionalities by using analysis, rational analysis of reality. This Thus, this master did not at all intend to use reason to refute conventional forms and such. In brief, while one person may try to find contradictions in another person's presentation of the two truths, I hold that there is no one from any Indian Buddhist tenet system, Madhyamaka or otherwise, who says, in my own presentation of the two truths, reasoning directed at the ultimate eradicates conventional objects. Digson Rinpoche.
Dona Omaba
Nipa. The Nipa Tseme Drupa.
Order. Tao Trudama de la Geo.
Lesso.
Shirama, Dodabani, Temej Trudamawa, Sazabado, Omabani, the Tebachim Trudamawa. Ye, Trudama Jagres. Tanyeba Teme Drumadu, Tane. Gobe sun jimuni ba sun jimuni ba ne zola soba ke lemba ne tseme madruba mundeje tseme druba yino ona na gunji den tseme she somba chetar te hana denen jiden be mila soba Jinebe Mila Subi Shebana Tekonani la Tsama Yimba Kagi Ne Yu Tanji la Tsama Mayimba Kaba Mino Tetayanga Judile Tetana Tekonani la Sambala, Takonani Sambala, Papa, Takonani Samayi, ne Papa Maiba, Sama Mainos, Papa Maino, Jidenji, Neba Juba, Jidenji Neba Juba, Jidenji Neba Juba.
Dupe de Kuna.
Chenjena, Zudala Suba, Ragangu,
Yomari.
Chenjina,
Yeah.
Debi, Tokonani la Chibi, Jidenji, Tuan, Tsama Kelena, Tata Yina, Kede, Jiden Tsama Yina, Jiden Jetini, Tonyu, Pajinji, Jugu, Pabi, Lanji, Jeshisha, Lobo Tsama Riba, Maino, Sheson la, Ti Shendedo, Mila Suba, Mila Suba da Kone, Te Konani, Never Shebisher, Pabi Lang Kondo, Chuba, Shaisher, Chujin Dan, Tuba Dan, Samba Dan, Gombala Suba, Driba, Dreba Dan, Chiba, Mayeba, Joashina. Then, Tataya Mayino teacher, now Gunji then Semi teacher, the Nikoso, Jiden never met. She zombie so, the battle Jubin the Valley, Tena Yobane, Tena Yoba, Nido, Tawane, Teni Tonga Mayino, Shesha or Trobo. Teni Jishir, Chunden Mida Nawan Naya Tamami, Shesu, Chambe, Yujin Chibajan, Tekonanila, Sama Maimba, Kake, Yujin La, Maimba, Chishindo, Seva Nawo, Tata Majina, Demento Anjute, Mila Subi, Sheba, Dada, Tanyabi, Sudala Suba, Suba La, Samayina, Takonani, Taishir, Palan te Maguba, Talo, She, Manane, Miki, Shibi, Zushina, Danyebala, Nawa Tomato, Tashibatan, Dala, Zudasu, Taishido, Palan, Sua Tomato, Tasanane, Shinto, Debe, Temudeba, Chishidu. On a déjà bien dévalé, quand de on would number on be number Sheba. The Monson Nito, Dutane, Je Sema Nito, Tuber Shebane, Ten Chishinto, Mandeva Shigo. Malu Shebane, Jidena, Sema Nito, Tone, Naba Sheba, Junan Deji, Duje Michel, Zumba, Hui, Chujen Dan, Jumatabo, Sonsos, Kanji Zumba, Hui, Chujen Dan, Jumatabo Tene, Malua Maite, Naba Jento, Nebi, Mobula, Naba Jento, Taishiro, Teta Jubi, Tsama Nito, Tabi, Riba Maite, Naba Sheba Tanji, Tsama Nito, Tawa Yushiro, She Mila Subi, Sheba Na, Tsama Maimi, Shir Kaba, Chetar, Tranyana, Dene, Mida Nana, Tsama Mi, Shesu Na, Mandayu, Tobi Ne, Shinto, Cheyu, Shido, Sheba Shao. Teta Miki Sheba La Suba, Ngosun Imba Tang, Tsama Maimba, Kaba Ne, Togi Ndoba, Kaba Imbe, Tuma Di, Dolu Jona, Jijabi Lebale, Togabande Ne, Jinebi Tunla, Ten Majan Ishir, Sheba Juno Tar, Chitambo, Conan Ne, Jawa, Shawa, Joa Yimbe, Tetemba Shaishir, Cheji, Ngosun, Kanki, Yinshi, Gishin, Taba Shawo, Peba, Sheba Ngosun, Maino, Sheba Jerawashi, Kan Toba Dan, Jawo, Toba de Jishi, Tuenjela, Midan Jisu, Habar, Dudoba, Shubi, Duji, Dushi Yabu De, Tedan, Treisher, Onbu, Naba Sheba, Nane Yuji,
Yuji wrong, Yuseni? The okay.
Yeah.
6:15. Rinpoche, the Tsikashemo, the Shesung Saka, the Dedang Jewe. Just that's more, Rinpoche. The name the Yapukadu too.
Toban de Jishi, Tendang La Midan, Riso Kaba Dundoba Shubi Dushi Yabote Tatan Treisher Ambi Sheba Na Sheba Na Nane Yuji Rangi Teni Juto Meba Tanshila Jubi Shir Ngosonji De Juba Shate Shesomba Tar
Yabudu.
Ya.
Then Lela Budu.
Ya.
Lela Bika. Okay. And Chapter 13, Valid Establishment. You cannot eradicate conventional phenomena by refuting them through investigating whether valid cognition establishes them. So when we look at, Rinpoche mentioned that there are 4 tenets. When we hear of these tenet systems, there are 4 systems: the Great Exposition School, the Sutra School, the Mind-Only School, and the Middle Way School. In this, Lama Tsongkhapa is presenting things unless otherwise specified from the viewpoint of the Middle Way. Valid establishment. You cannot eradicate conventional phenomena by refuting them through investigating whether valid cognition establishes them. And there are some things that are in common, like, you have the teaching shared in common with beings of small and medium capacity. There are tenets that are in common. So, for instance, that the Middle Way shares with the Great Exposition School, or the Middle Way School shares with Mind-Only School or others. But ultimately, their view is different. So, just as a translator's note, I didn't want it to seem like there were these separate systems that don't have any kind of coherent connection. Okay. Cannot eradicate conventional phenomena by refuting them through investigating whether valid cognition establishes them. As to assertions about forms and such, we do not hold that valid cognition does not establish them. Valid cognition does establish them. Quam. Then how can Chandrakirti's commentary on the Middle Way be correct when it says the world is not valid in any way? Reply. That passage refutes the notion that the world's visual consciousness and such are valid with regard to reality. It does not refute the validity regarding all objects. In this vein, Chandrakirti's explanation of the Middle Way commentary says, accordingly, only noble beings are authority on the contemplation of reality. Those who are not noble beings are not. Those who are not noble beings would be authorities on reality if our acceptance of the world's critique meant that we accept the validity of the world's perception of our analysis of reality. The commentary on the Middle Way says, if the world were an authority, it would see reality. Then what need would there be for those others called noble beings? What would the noble path accomplish? It is not right that fools should be authorities. In the commentary following that explanation of the Middle Way commentary, Chandrakirti says, because mere visual consciousness and such would ascertain reality, it would be fruitless to work at ethics or to study, reflect, and meditate in order to understand the noble path. However, this is not the case. Therefore, the commentary on the Middle Way says, because the world is not valid in any way, the world has no critique in the context of reality. Also, Chandrakirti's commentary on Nagarjuna's 60 stanzas of reasoning says, to view those forms and such as simply existing is not to see reality. In order to establish this, the Bhagavan said, the eye, ear, and nose consciousness are not valid cognitions. Since Chandrakirti cites such scripture, it is extremely clear that what he refutes is that visual consciousness and such are valid with regard to a special object, reality, and not that they are valid with regard to other objects. If it is not taken in this way, his statements would be inconsistent. Suppose Chandrakirti meant if visual consciousness and such were valid regarding conventional objects, such as forms and sounds, then it would absurdly follow that there is no need to strive at the noble path in order to perceive reality. This would be as senseless as saying that if visual consciousness is aware of form, it follows that the ear is not needed to hear sounds. On the other hand, suppose he meant if the visual consciousness were valid with regard to forms, then it would absurdly follow that it is pointless to strive at the noble path in order to perceive things such as forms and sounds. We completely agree with this, so what unwanted absurdity does it demonstrate? Quam, Chandrakirti's commentary on the 400 stanzas says, "It is quite inconsistent to call sensory consciousness perception and also to consider it as valid with regard to other things, as the world sees it. A valid cognition is simply a non-deceptive consciousness. However, the Bhagavan said that even consciousness, because it is composite, has a false and deceptive quality and is like a magician's illusion. That which has a false and deceptive quality and is like a magician's illusion is not non-deceptive because it exists in one way but appears in another. It is not right to designate such a valid cognition because it would then absurdly follow that all consciousnesses would be valid cognitions." How do you interpret this general refutation of the position that visual consciousness and such are valid cognitions? Unlike the passage eye, ear, and nose are not valid, this passage has been a source of grave doubt. Therefore, I will explain it in detail. This refutation of position that the visual consciousnesses and such are both perceptions and valid cognitions is a refutation of the assertions of the logicians. Therefore, let us start by considering what they assert. Chandrakirti's commentary on the 400 stanzas says, "Because the logicians are utterly unpracticed in the sensibilities of the world, you must train them from the very beginning like young children. Hence, in order to teach them, you question them closely, asking, 'What is a perception in your system?' They answer, 'A consciousness is a perception.' What sort of consciousness? One that is free from conceptuality. What is conceptuality? It is the fluctuation of the discrimination that is involved in the superimposition of names and types to objects. Because they are free from that, the sensory consciousnesses engage only the inexpressible intrinsic character of their objects. They are therefore called perceptions." Okay. Rinpoche, trio dan lenja de moalo.
Okay.
Chiran sanlo gari be.
Yeah.
De ngatsu shesung beche de lepson.
Shesung ba tar. Toba de je maju. Maju an ngonsung ji tani dos. Toba de je maju je riba ngonsung ji tani. What the le de do. Sala maju an yu je raji. Ragi tani je tar ne ba tar. Zemba shebe onbi sheba. Ngonsung nga ke raten jeyu na zudala subi rangi tseni ne ngonsung nga bo tada ki jeja yinbe tada tsama dosa yang yu nga puti raji yinba shiba raji yinba dodo sumende ne chiban juwa tar rangi muyo juwa rangi tseni juwa ne tanya donga mujebe onbi shiba tena rangi la tama kala ye. Dena, dear Dedag. Dodo, Lumendina, Chibanjo Tar, Ragingu, Ruba, Ragitini, Ruban Tanya Don, Mejebe, Onbi, Shebana, Ratana Suba, Samakala ye.
Dena.
Kala yes, Dena. Sama
Mayimba Gapa.
Sama yimba guzu ne. Choden de je na. Zumba loa somba. Tisha.
She's coming already, Rinpoche.
Kesos.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah, loa sombe. Loa ka ne. Sama mayimba go je bate. Malu yu tseme
616. Decent, Rinpoche. Ngatsu de Chiwa Dan Lenja, decent. The Chiran, Nga Hakogudu, Chiran Kaba Lesson, Ngay Logian, Dene the Chiwa Dan Lenja, Yabudu. Okay. So just give me 1 second. Just everybody bear with me a second. I just have to figure out where we just kind of stopped. And I'll just read up to there. And let's see. That. Hence, the logicians hold that a perception is a consciousness that is free from conceptuality and non-mistaken. So Rinpoche said, right when he read that that's the actual definition that they use in debate for valid cognition or valid establishment, sema. It's translated a lot of different ways, but valid establishment is what they're using here. So it's a consciousness that is free from conceptuality and non-mistaken. The Rinpoche, the sema, seni, sardu malu ripa, sardu.
Sardu malu ripa, ngosun seni.
Ale, ngusun, sema, semi drupa.
Sardu malu.
Ngusun, the sema gets semi drupa?
Toba de matru sardu malu ripa, ngosun semi seni.
Ale, ngosum sema. Ale, dene the sema, dene. Ale.
Ngosum keji tombo sema, keji niba beji hero.
Dene the tambo discorum chingi chua yure. 6. Dopa dandrel shing matru sheba. Dopa dandrel shing malu ripa yomaribe? Ripa? Sheba chipa? Dopa dandrel shing matru sheba? Ripa yar. So we actually use a slightly different word when we we use it awareness that is free from non-mistaken sardu ripa dopa, free from conceptuality, not mistaken. An awareness that is non-mistaken and free from conceptuality, as opposed to using consciousness for some reason. And I asked Rinpoche if consciousness or ripa is better, and he said that it's better to use the word awareness. I don't think it's right here, but you can see when you study debate in the monastery, it's one of the very first, my page is ripped off where it is, but it's one of the very first things that you actually study, valid cognition and object of comprehension and so forth. And anyway. So, hence, the logicians hold that a perception is a consciousness that is free from conceptuality and non-mistaken. It is non-mistaken in that it apprehends the intrinsic character of the object just as it is. Thus, since all 5 sensory perceptions comprehend the intrinsic nature of their objects, the intrinsic characteristics of forms, sounds, and so forth are the objects comprehended by the 5 perceptions. Therefore, it is in relation to the intrinsic character of these 5 objects and that they consider such perceptions to be valid. As we will explain, the Master Chandrakirti does not accept even conventionally that anything exists essentially or by way of its own intrinsic character. Thus, how could he accept this claim that the sensory consciousnesses are valid in regard to the intrinsic character of their objects? However, therefore, this refutation of the claim that sensory consciousnesses are valid in a refutation of the view that they are valid with regard to the intrinsic character of the 5 objects. This refutation is made by way of the Bhagavan's statement that consciousness is false and deceptive. The statement that it is deceptive refutes it being non-deceptive, and this in turn refutes its validity because, you know what, I'm going to end right here. At the end of 165, this refutation is made. I think that's the best place to end because there was some mix-up. And it's easier for us, and then I can just direct right there and make sure that we got it all. And Rinpoche said that we can do some question and answer if you want. Rinpoche, trio dan lenja. So does anybody have any questions? Coleman.
So on page 161, it says, so when you present the two truths, what are those? That's kind of what I get lost, is like what the two truths are. Is that just like conventional and then ultimate reality?
Yes.
That's what it is?
The Demba Nigare, Gunzu Demba Dang, Dundan Demba, Kontriwa.
That's all so but so Gunzu Demba. That was not Tony Danguden.
Kuna? Tony Danguden Kuna?
Yes.
Okay. So when we look at the two truths and we try to figure out what they are, we would say that the conventional truth is forms and so forth, and so forth.
Right.
Ultimate truth is only, and I asked Rinpoche, that's the question I asked him, does this mean only? It's only emptiness and cessation.
Really?
So that's the only thing that ultimate truth refers to.
So
Cessation
yeah.
and emptiness.
Dependent origination is part of emptiness? Is that kind of?
Dependent origination is a proof of emptiness.
Right, okay.
Proves emptiness.
Yeah.
It's a reason why we say things are empty, because they dependently originate. It's a proof of their lack of inherent existence.
Right.
It shows that they don't exist in some singular way from their own side.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I'm sorry, I think we're just getting into it because I'm still hung up on, I think, the English words of direct, valid cognition, and because we have to use the sensory faculties to transmit messages to our brain to tell us what we're seeing or smelling. I think I'm getting hung up on the fact that there's not just a one-step process of apprehending an object, that there's layers to it.
Right.
Is that correct?
Many layers, yeah. Rinpoche, the Zula Tuna, the Garigu, Yichinambar Shebagu, Miginambar Shebagu, Migiwambogu, Yijiwambogu, Garigu, Zula Tuna?
Zujina Zuji Migi Shebaro. Migi Sheba the Yi Sheba. Mika Shebe.
Migi Sheba, Dang Yiji Sheba? So you need both the mental consciousness and the eye consciousness, for instance, to perceive a form. Because the eye consciousness apprehends the form itself in its bareness, then the mental consciousness says, oh, this is a form, and then establishes it as that. So they work with each other when you're perceiving objects. But emptiness in things are just a mental consciousness because it's not something your sensory faculties apprehend.
So thank you. That was my next question. So, if when a Buddha sees emptiness, what is it? Is that just the one-step process of direct, valid perception of the way things really exist?
The Buddha always sees that. And conventional simultaneous. Rinpoche, the Sanjay Gari Tongudu, Gangyasena Kon, the Doni Dopi Sherap, Dakpar Yure, Dene, the Kon Zu Tona, Kon Zu, the Dan Drapodu, the Tomba Ni Tongudu, Gari Tong. Sanjay? The Buddha simultaneously perceives every aspect of an object. So, for instance, the Buddha looks at this bell and sees the bell conventionally, sees its conventional existence, sees its emptiness. And that's sees is the part that I think is not good to use, because it's not seeing something with an eye. Its emptiness is a perception of the way that it exists in the world, and it isn't something that visually is apprehended. It's just that when we say the Buddha sees its emptiness, we mean the Buddha recognizes its dependent origination while seeing that it conventionally exists. but there isn't any kind of break between the two. The Buddha simultaneously sees this. There isn't a step to it where the Buddha has to say, oh, this dependently originates. The Buddha no longer relies on signs. And inferential valid cognition is the step before direct valid cognition, and that's where you rely on signs, where you say, this isn't truly established because it dependently originates. And you do that enough to where you get to the point where you know it for sure. You have to over and over and over and over and over again. The next step is a direct perception where you see emptiness, but you're not seeing anything visually. You're having an experience of the nature of everything mentally. Does that make sense? So you no longer,
Yes.
the Buddha doesn't need to say, oh, this is empty because it dependently originates. The Buddha sees, this is empty, this is a bell, this is... And also the Buddha could perceive what everyone else perceives it to be, that make their karma makes them see it. Like if it's a hungry ghost wouldn't see it as beautiful as we would. And the Buddha perceives that as well simultaneously. Perceives that a hungry ghost has the karma to perceive that. Because there's a big debate whether the Buddha can see something ugly or not. Because you know what I mean? Whether the Buddha can see something that is not attractive. Big debate. So how does he see suffering? And the debate ends with basically that he sees the imprints and knows what they will arrive at. Doesn't actually have to see the...
Is it similar to, like, for example, like an apple? Thinking about it came from a tree, it came from a seed, came from a previous seed.
Mm-hmm.
Like just having that knowledge.
That you would, the Buddha wouldn't require that lead up. The Buddha would know it was empty because of all that, but the because of all that wouldn't be in play any longer. It would be it would be just like we see a car and say, that's a car. You know what I mean? It'd be that instantaneous. Of a direct perception of its reality as it's conventional. The Buddha would see, that's a car, that car's empty at the same time and just as real. So we are very almost handicapped by the way that we can perceive things with our consciousness and our other perceptions. The Buddha, it says that even the crown protrusion of the Buddha can cognize all phenomena. I've even seen like a single pore of the Buddha. What does that mean, though?
Just a point of clarification. Rinpoche made a point of preferring the term consciousness, awareness over consciousness. We tend to use these words interchangeably in American English. I was just wondering what nuance he was highlighting, or
Rinpoche, the Dopadan Drelshing Ripa, Matru Ripa, Garshene Ripa Yar, the Sheba Yar, Garshene.
Ripa Sena Tsani Ganduro. Matru Ripa Ngosung Tsani Song, what the Tsani Jaguzan, what the Tobat Matru Ripa Ngosung Tsani.
Semagi Tsani. Dopan Dan.
Satumul Ngosung Ripa Ngosung Tsani Tsani. Tobat Matru Ripa Ngosung Tsani.
That's good. Hold on one. That's good. What page was that on again? 165? Say that again? Okay. I just want to see something real quick. Then the Lamrim Chenmo dopa dan jelshing matrue sheba. Then garishene matrue ripa yomare.
다들 지르가요 말. 배전 고수 송주지로.
Then sheba dan ripa dunchik yomare. Lo datayin lo sheba ripa dunchik. It's really more of a choice of words based on the university's definition, because mind, lo ripa sheba, mind, consciousness, and awareness are synonyms, are one meaning, dunchik, one meaning. Meaning if you have awareness, you have consciousness. If you have consciousness, if you have you have awareness. So those three, it's actually, I just remembered it. It's in the Low-Rig text. That it's right in the beginning where it says mind. That's right in anyway, that's what it says. It says the three, mind, awareness, and consciousness are one meaning or synonymous. So it's just really the choice of words, and if they're synonymous, then it means that they're interchangeable, so there would be no reason other than that's what their book uses.
Okay, thank you.
It's like right in the beginning.
Can you just clarify something about it's more of a definition thing about beings of small, medium, and great capacity.
Mm-hmm.
When you say that all the teachings of the Buddha are put into those three categories, so you said something the other day, and I'm not sure if I heard this correctly, about kind of where Rinpoche, or maybe you could ask Geshe Lharampa, where they consider themselves. Are they beings of small, medium, or great capacity? Well, they wouldn't be great because, or they could be. They could have achieved individual enlightenment already. But is there anything below that? I mean, are we all beings of small capacity, or striving to be? Like, so what does that mean, and where would they say they are? Like, literally, where does
just
Geshe Lharampa-
I'll just say really quickly, and then I'll ask them. They couldn't say.
Couldn't, okay.
A practitioner who has realizations would never say, I have these realizations. That just isn't something that they would say. And it's even breaks a vow for an Arya to tell a non-Arya that they have seen emptiness.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
well, because then there's a lot of reasons, but one reason, for instance, is they're not a Buddha yet. They're not perfect yet. So then people could start to follow them like a god.
Right.
They could form a cult, and they're not ready. They're not Buddha. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There have been some that, like Lama Tsongkhapa proclaims in his text that he had seen emptiness. But, so that's a big debate. Why did he do that? And some would say in order to make the material about emptiness seem more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wrote about
Right.
emptiness. He was a writer about
I was
emptiness.
thinking that thing too, like,
So
you can't
that's
teach
why
something
he
you don't know, right?
he did that. He wrote and he had a direct perception of Manjushri, who taught him about it. So, you know, you also have to wonder how much is folklore, how much is, you know, you have to take that comes into play. You know, Rinpoche kontriwa de ngatsu de jipo sundan nanji rimbo, jipo chungo, jipo din, jipo chembo. De triwa tambo ngatsu jipo gare, jipo chungo, jipo din, jipo chembo, triwa tambo. Dene triwa nipa chiranso. Geshe nima chiran jipo chembo chungo din Rinpoche chiran jipo chembo din chungo. Tambo ngatsu jipo gare. Hako mare.
이 많이 돼 어디 지부 레드 외면데 상주 생주 외면 딱 그랬어. 상주 생주 외나 지부 첨부했어. 상주 생주 외면 지부 첨부 줄 좀.
Then jipo din nepa joa mena. Jipo dimba yo mare. Jipo chungo nima dakpar nga ngeson dro gugumare nima dakpar de sanlo dakpar jipo chungo. Tata yimba.
다 집에 총을 되고 나오는데 내 손을 타는 dindu 누야가 나한테라 나한테라 집에 총을 하더라고.
Yine de ni dan sen dakpar sanlo dan. Gangin sen de nepar jungo seni sho. Ni dan sen lamsam namsam it's any year day. Then the jipo chungo chikshena ni dan sen the neson drogomar dinju dro.
dindu this is sound you can
The drabble do. Okay, so everybody in the room would have to answer that for themselves. If you have bodhicitta, if you have the mind that aspires to enlightenment, meaning day and night you think about nothing but becoming a Buddha for the sake of sentient beings, then you are a being of great capacity. If you don't have that, but day and night all you do is think about getting out of cyclic existence, you have renunciation, then you are a being of medium capacity. If you have renunciation, you are a being of medium capacity. If you, day and night, don't think about anything but getting out of the lower realms of cyclic existence and achieving a higher realm rebirth, then you're a being of small capacity. So each individual has to answer that for him or herself. So that's that question. And then Charansa?
다 집에 집에 이 마인데 샹주선 줄이었나네.
Gutsusu. Nge lapsong. Kong triwa. Cherang. Rinpoche. Geshe wandak. Cherang jipu chembo. Jipu din. Jipu chungo. Cherang.
나 집에 집에 이서 나 샹주선 문도 집에 집에 말했어.
Dene? Chu. Nepar juwa. Yurbe.
난중다 배치 외지로 난중.
So Rinpoche said that, no, I'm not a bodhisattva because I don't have bodhicitta, but perhaps I may have renunciation. And so I perhaps could be a medium scope practitioner.
But there's nothing called teachings for beings of minuscule capacity. Like there's nothing below small capacity. And you said all the teachings of the Buddha are in those three categories.
Right.
So what do we, like we have to be in some, like what?
Why?
We're just outside of those categories, but
Aspiring
we're getting the teaching,
to be.
aspiring to be a being of small capacity.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Some people don't even have any of that.
Okay.
Do you day and night think about getting out of the lower realms of cyclic existence? Do you day and night think of getting out of samsara? Do you day and night think of becoming a Buddha? And it isn't like, yeah, I think about it a lot. It's just it. It's your mind. It's like bodhicitta is Buddha mind. And it doesn't mean you have the mind of a Buddha. It means that your mind is only thinking about becoming a Buddha. That's it. It's an actual consciousness. Bodhicitta, mind of Buddha. So it's that invested, I just see so many Westerners saying they're bodhisattvas and like I'm enlightened, and because there's levels, and it's just all wrong, and it's just all making messed up soup out of Buddhism. Yes.
In response to his last question, can it be said that there are those who are not even aware that there's a cyclic existence and don't know that there's different paths and don't even have the awareness of Buddhism, period? So
well, we know there's those. We don't need to ask.
But is that what you're referring to, I guess? Those who...
I'm just wondering, because they just say it's a compendium, like all the teachings are within those categories, so there's, like, when they first started,
It doesn't say all the practitioners.
Right, it's just the teachings.
It says that there are these, every teaching that was ever given will fit in these three. And if you have this realization, you're considered this. If you have that, you're considered that. So it's just something to aspire to be or to get to.
I guess because you say they are teachings for beings of small capacity, as if they're not teachings for us, because
Right.
we're not beings of small capacity.
Right. Well, the
But they are
Mahayana
teachings for us.
teachings are teachings, a great vehicle, or for those with bodhicitta. It's all aspiring to become. If it was you had to be it before you could study it, then you wouldn't need to study it.
That was kind of
It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So it's just like anything else. It's like okay, there's these set of realizations you try to get to, like the beginner before beginner. Everything doesn't have to have a label, or we don't all need to have a position in the army. It's just like there are these realizations, and they don't necessarily have to happen in that order either. It's said. Rinpoche, the jipo chongo dan jipo din the me kashe the nima dakpar the nason dan dendru the yapio marid sanlo dangudu dene the jipo chongo dan jipo din jipo chembo the genza Rinpoche gangisene the mekashe the nyamdu yo maribe gangisene the genza serna dene tam jipo chongo tsar dene nge jipo jin drogore yene the yo mare the nyamdu then kandre
어때 집에 총원지 버리진 놔야 되는 말이야.
And so you can't look at it like stairs in that sense. But there are necessary qualities that the ones before it have, the next one needs. So, because I said a lot of practitioners study the downfalls of all the realms right from the beginning, as a lot of Westerners we do. We study, we don't sit and study the downfalls of the lower realms and spend a year on that and then get to the point where we don't like that and then study the downfalls of the higher realms. We study the downfalls of all of it to try to seek renunciation. So Rinpoche said you can't look at it like a set of stairs, because you might meditate every day on the downfalls of all of it and simultaneously want to get out of the lower and higher realms. You hear what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like if you're every day from the beginning of studying Buddhism, you never studied just the lower realms. You always studied the downfalls of the higher and lower realms. Then you could have a simul realization of wanting to get out of both. That's all. But one could argue that it was because in previous lives you studied the small scope. And did that answer? Okay. Geshe La. You gotta ask Geshe La. Geshe La, Lenjat Mason. Chiran Jipo Chongo, Jipo Din, Jipo Chembo. Chiran. Chongo. He's a small scope practitioner.
총어지 라쇼.
Oh, he said if you're small, then teach it. All right, let's go. Let's move on. Let's do that. Let's get a book and let's do some dedication. Ready? Everybody good? The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drakpa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well, with whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the 3 times. I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness, all-powerful Avalokitesvara, Tenzin Gyatso, may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Tuji Rinpoche Gutsi Shapi Denonang, Hatsu Lamrim Chenmo Kanga Chironang, Suma Jumba Kanga Chironang, Sawa Sherab Kanga Chironang.